Close your eyes now, sweet dreamer. Let the soft hush of rain against an old window wrap around you like the gentlest blanket. Feel the cool air brushing your cheeks, carrying the faint scent of warm vanilla and cedar from a candle flickering somewhere far away in the dark. Tonight, I'm going to whisper you the entire story of Inside Out. Every tiny moment, every color, every tear, every quiet heartbeat. So slowly that your thoughts will melt into the sound of my voice and the steady patter of rain. This is a bedtime story for grown-ups who still remember being 11, for anyone who has ever felt their emotions pulling them in 5 directions at once. Let your shoulders sink deeper into the pillow. That's it. Breathe in for 4, hold, and breathe out for 7. Good again, in, out. Feel the weight of the day sliding off your chest like water. You're safe here. Nothing can rush us. We have all the time in the world, and the rain will keep falling long after you've drifted away. I'll be right here, speaking so softly that the words feel like fingertips tracing slow circles on your temples. If a tingle runs down your spine, let it. That's just your body remembering how good it feels to be held by a story. And tonight's story lives inside the mind of a little girl named Riley. A place brighter than any dream you've ever had, yet sometimes darker than midnight. Imagine a vast glowing headquarters. Soft pink walls pulsing with warm light. 5 colorful figures standing at a curved console that looks like it was carved from sunrise itself. In the center stands Joy, golden hair shimmering, her dress the color of butter melting in the sun, eyes sparkling like champagne bubbles. She smells faintly of cotton candy and summer grass. To her left is Sadness, round and blue, soft as a worn sweater, the texture of velvet under your fingers, her little round glasses fogging every time she sighs. Then Fear, tall and purple, all nervous angles, his bow tie trembling. Anger, short and red, fists clenched, the heat of a barbecue radiating from his brick-like head. And Disgust, green and fabulous, eyebrows perfectly arched, smelling of fresh cucumber and expensive perfume. These 5, they are Riley's emotions, and they have been best friends since the day she was born. Let me tell you a tiny secret before we begin. Pete Docter, the gentleman who directed this film, started writing it because he watched his own daughter Ellie grow quiet and distant when she turned 11, the same age Riley is now. He wondered, what if her joy got lost? That real ache became the heartbeat of the whole movie. And here's another whisper. The abstract thought sequence we'll visit later was almost cut entirely, until the animators begged to keep it because it made them laugh until they cried. Feel that little smile on your lips? Good, keep it. Let it soften. Have you ever noticed how some memories glow gold in your mind, while others carry a quiet blue shadow? Have you ever wished you could reach in and pull sadness away from the controls, the way Joy tries so hard to do? Tonight, we're gonna let her stay. We're gonna let every feeling have its turn, because that, sweet one, is how we heal. When you're ready, let your next breath be a little deeper. Feel your chest rise, fall, and when it falls this time, let yourself sink just a little further into the mattress. Perfect. The rain is getting softer now, like someone turned the volume down on the world just for you. In a moment, we'll step together into Riley's mind. On the very first day, everything starts to change, but not yet. First, let me brush an imaginary strand of hair from your forehead there, and trace one slow circle on your temple with the lightest touch of sound. Sh, sh. You're doing so beautifully. Your eyelids are heavy, aren't they? That's okay. You don't have to hold them open. The story will paint pictures behind them instead. Whenever you hear the gentle tap of rain on glass, let that be your signal to relax one more muscle you didn't know was tight. Tap. Let your jaw loosen. Tap. Let your fingers unclench. Tap. Let your thoughts float like little glowing orbs on a quiet breeze. We're going to follow those orbs all the way from Minnesota's golden wheat fields to the crooked streets of San Francisco, from Goofball Island to the dark cliffs of the memory dump, and finally home again. But slower than you've ever traveled anywhere before. Are you comfortable? Good. Take one more slow breath with me. In 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lovely. The candle in the corner just flickered, sending a warm amber glow across the walls, and the rain has settled into the softest rhythm, like a lullaby made of water. You are exactly where you're meant to be. When I count to 3, we'll step together through the glowing door into Riley's mind. No rush, no worry, just the two of us and 5 little emotions about to have the biggest adventure of their lives. 1. Feeling the cool brass doorknob under your hand. 2. Hearing the faint hum of memories shelved like books of light. 3. We're in. The very first thing you notice inside Riley's mind is the light, warm, honey-colored, pouring down like late afternoon sun through maple leaves. It smells faintly of fresh pancakes and the rubber of ice skates, because that is what happiness smelled like when Riley was very small. The floor beneath our feet is soft and springy, like walking on the plush carpet of her childhood bedroom in Minnesota. Ahead of us stretches long-term memory, endless curving shelves made of glowing glass, each holding a perfect sphere the size of a marble. Some shimmer pure gold, some are sapphire blue. A few are angry red or fearful violet or disgusted emerald, and every single one hums with its own tiny song. Joy is already skipping toward the console, her little yellow feet making no sound at all. She turns back to us, eyes sparkling, and whispers so gently you can feel it on your earlobe. This is the best day ever. She smells like lemon drops and birthday candles. At the console, the others are lined up like crayons in a brand new box. Sadness sits on the floor, knees drawn up, tracing slow circles on the glowing pink surface with one blue finger. You can almost feel the cool softness of her skin, like memory foam wrapped in velvet. Fear is chewing on the end of his tie, making tiny, frightened, squeaking noises. Anger is reading a newspaper titled Daily Rage, steam curling from the top of his flat head like a tiny volcano. Disgust is filing her nails, rolling her eyes every time anger snorts. Outside, in the real world, though right now it feels far away, like something happening on the other side of thick glass, Riley is 3 days old. Her parents lean over the crib, faces soft with wonder. Mom's glasses reflect the nursery light in warm circles. Dad's mustache twitches, with the biggest smile he has ever smiled. A single golden memory rolls down the silver track from the console and lands with the gentlest plink in the shelf directly in front of us. Riley's first smile, bright as a drop of melted butter. Joy claps her hands so softly it sounds like moth wings. Core memory number 1. She breathes, and the orb glows even brighter. Somewhere far above us, a tiny island of light flickers into existence. Goofball Island, all bouncy castles and silly faces, Dad pretending to be a monkey while Riley giggles in her crib. Let's stay here a moment. Feel the warmth of that golden orb on your cheek, like sunlight through a car window on the first day of summer vacation. Have you ever held a memory so perfect that it made your chest ache? Hold it now. Let it settle behind your eyes like warm honey. Breathe it in. Time drifts forward, slow as syrup. We watch Riley grow in soft montages that feel like flipping through an old photo album someone is holding for you. There's the day she scores her first hockey goal. Ice shavings flying up like diamond dust. Cold air burning her lungs in the very best way. The taste of victory sharp and metallic on her tongue. Joy spins in circles, arms wide, scattering little flecks of light. Another golden orb rolls in. Pure joy. Family Island blossoms bigger, all cozy living room forts and the smell of Mom's lasagna. Then the day Riley and her best friend Meg build a blanket fort. So elaborate it has 3 rooms and a mailbox made of cardboard. Friendship Island appears, soft pink and green, smelling like strawberry bubblegum and secrets whispered after lights out. Sadness reaches out once, just once, toward a memory of Riley falling off her sled and skinning her knee. Joy gently nudges her hand away. No need for that. Joy murmurs, voice like warm milk. Sadness sighs, a sound like wind through an empty playground, and goes back to drawing invisible blue circles on the floor. Can you remember a time someone tried to protect you from your own sadness? Did it help? Or did it make the sadness grow heavier, like a blanket that's too thick on a summer night? Let that question rest gently on your chest. You don't have to answer it tonight. Years glide by. The headquarters grows taller, the console gets more buttons, the memory shelves curve higher than skyscrapers. Riley is 11 now, ponytail swinging as she skates across the frozen pond behind her house in Minnesota, cheeks pink from cold, breath coming in happy white puffs. The air smells like pine needles and hot chocolate. Joy stands at the console every day, hands dancing over the controls like a pianist playing the happiest song in the world. The 5 core memories sit in their special glowing rack behind the console, each one powering a personality island: goofball, family, hockey, friendship, honesty. They glow so brightly the whole headquarters feels like sunrise that never ends. Here's a quiet little trivia I'll tuck behind your ear like a flower. The sound designers recorded actual children laughing in a hockey rink for hours to get Riley's giggles exactly right. If you listen very carefully later, you can hear real Minnesota wind in the background whenever we're outside. Feel that breeze now, cool and clean, brushing across your forehead. Everything is perfect. Until the moving truck pulls away from the only home Riley has ever known. The day the for sale sign goes up, Joy is still smiling, but it's a tiny bit tighter around the edges. Change is good, she says brightly, but her voice wavers like candle flame in a draft. Riley stands in her empty bedroom, toes curling against the cold hardwood floor that used to have carpet the color of blueberries. The walls are bare except for faint rectangles where posters used to be. She can still smell the ghost of her old lavender detergent in the air. Mom and Dad are downstairs arguing quietly about money, voices muffled through the floorboards. Riley presses her palm to the wall, feeling the cool paint, and something inside her chest feels suddenly too big and too small at the same time. Back in headquarters, the console flickers for the very first time. A new button has appeared. Puberty. It beeps ominously. Fear shrieks and hides behind anger. Anger pounds the console so hard the lights strobe red. Disgust makes a gagging sound. Sadness inches closer, eyes wide behind her glasses. Joy stares at the button like it's a spider. "Okay, everybody," she says, trying to sound brave. "New house, new school, new team, totally doable." But her hands are trembling. The moving truck rumbles west across the country. Riley sits in the back seat, staring out at endless cornfields, turning into endless wheat, turning into endless nothing. The broccoli pizza incident happens at a roadside stop. The pizza arrives with green specks. Disgust slams the controls. Riley's face scrunches exactly like Disgust's, and she refuses to eat. Dad's face falls. Mom forces a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. In headquarters, Joy is frantically trying to spin everything positive, but the memory orb that rolls in is a muddy green-brown. Disgust high-fives herself. Joy looks like she might cry, but she swallows it. Have you ever moved so far that the air tasted different? Did the sky feel too big, or the silence too loud? Let that memory come if it wants to, or let it stay tucked away. Either is okay. Breathe in the scent of old cardboard boxes and new paint that hasn't dried yet. Feel the lump in Riley's throat that she keeps swallowing and swallowing. Finally, the truck pulls into San Francisco. The house is tall and narrow and nothing like home. The first night, Riley lies in her sleeping bag on the bare floor, staring up at a ceiling that still smells like strangers. Outside, foghorns moan across the bay like lonely whales. Inside headquarters, Joy is pacing. "Tomorrow will be better," she whispers, but the lights dim anyway. Sadness stands at the console, hand hovering. Joy gently pulls her back. "Not yet," Joy says softly. "Let's keep her happy." But the next morning, when Riley opens her eyes to gray fog pressing against the window and the realization that nothing here is familiar, something inside her shifts. The console sparks. Sadness, moving almost in slow motion, reaches out and touches a core memory. The golden one of Riley laughing with Mom and Dad on the frozen pond. The one that powers Family Island. Her blue finger leaves the tiniest smudge of sadness on the glowing surface. The orb turns blue. Joy gasps. The memory rolls out of its sacred rack and tumbles across the floor. Joy dives after it. Sadness tries to help, and in the struggle they both fall backward, sucked straight into the silver memory chute with all 5 core memories clutched in Joy's arms. The last thing Joy hears before the headquarters doors slam shut is Fear screaming, "Joy's gone!" And somewhere far away, in the real world, Riley sits up in her sleeping bag, eyes suddenly hollow, and feels something inside her chest go very, very quiet. Let the rain wash that quiet over you now, soft and steady. Feel how heavy those 5 golden-turned blue memories must feel in Joy's arms as she tumbles down, down, down into long-term memory. We'll follow her in just a moment. But first, let your whole body sink 1 inch deeper into the bed. That's it. Good. The story is only beginning, and you are perfectly safe. Down here in long-term memory, the light is softer, more like twilight than sunrise. Shelves tower above us like golden canyons, each one humming with 1,000 quiet lullabies. The air feels thick and slow, the way dreams feel when you're half awake and don't want to leave them yet. Joy lands first with a gentle puff of sparkling dust, still clutching the 5 core memories to her chest like fragile eggs. Sadness tumbles after her, rolling slowly to a stop against Joy's ankle with the softest thump you can imagine, like a plush toy dropped on carpet. Joy's glow flickers, dimmer than it has ever been. She looks up and up and up at the endless shelves stretching into purple darkness. "Okay," she whispers, voice trembling like a candle about to go out. "We can fix this. We just have to get back before anyone notices." But even as she says it, the memories in her arms are turning bluer by the second, Sadness's touch spreading like ink in water. Sadness sits up slowly, pushes her round glasses higher on her little yarn-like nose, and sighs the longest, saddest sigh you have ever heard. It sounds exactly like rain on a tin roof when you're the only one home. "I ruined everything," she murmurs, voice so quiet it tickles the inside of your ear. Joy immediately kneels, brushing imaginary dust from Sadness's soft blue shoulder. No, we're a team, we'll figure it out together." But you can feel the panic fluttering under Joy's words like a trapped moth. Back in headquarters, the remaining three emotions stare at the empty console in total silence for 3 full heartbeats. Then everything explodes. Fear's entire body starts vibrating so fast he becomes a purple blur. "We're all going to die," he shrieks, voice cracking like ice on a pond. Anger's head bursts into real flames, bright orange and crackling. "Who put Emmy in charge?" he bellows, stomping so hard the floor shakes. Disgust flips her hair and crosses her arms. "Great! Now we're stuck with Captain Volcano and Sir Screams-a-Lot." The console sparks and sputters without Joy's steady hands. Outside, Riley stands in the cold kitchen of the new house, staring at a slice of plain cheese pizza that suddenly looks gray and tasteless. She pokes it with one finger. It feels like wet cardboard. Mom tries to smile. "How's the new place treating you, kiddo?" Riley shrugs, shoulders up around her ears. The memory orb that rolls in is dull gray, the color of fog and disappointment. Joy and Sadness start walking. The ground here is spongy, like walking on giant marshmallows covered in a thin layer of velvet. Every step makes a soft squish that you can feel in the soles of your own feet, even though you're safe in bed. Joy tries to stay positive, pointing out interesting memories as they pass. Here's the one where Riley pretended to be a monkey for an entire afternoon. Here's the one where she and Meg stayed up all night whispering about which teacher was secretly an alien. Each orb glows softly when Joy touches it, but when Sadness trails a finger along the shelf, they all turn a gentle, melancholy blue. Joy tries to wipe the blue away, rubbing frantically, but it won't come off. "Why do you have to touch everything?" Joy asks, voice cracking. Sadness shrinks even smaller. "I'm sorry, I can't help it." They reach the edge of Goofball Island. From down here it looks enormous. A carnival of primary colors floating in the sky like a hot air balloon made of laughter. But even as they watch, the lights flicker. Without its core memory, the island is starting to dim. A single playing card from the card tower Dad built flutters down and lands at Joy's feet. It's the Joker, face scratched out. Joy's lower lip trembles. Let's pause right here, sweet listener. Feel the gentle weight of that playing card in your own hand. The slick paper. The faint smell of old attic. Have you ever watched a place that used to feel like pure joy start to fade? Maybe a childhood bedroom after you moved out, or the treehouse that got torn down for a parking lot. Let that memory come if it wants, or let it drift past like a cloud. Either way, breathe in for 4, hold, and out for 7. Good. The rain is still falling, washing everything clean. Trivia tucked gently behind your ear. The animators spent months studying how real children move when they're sad. They watched hours of footage of kids dragging their feet, shoulders rounded, eyes on the floor. That's why Sadness's walk feels so familiar, like someone you loved when they were hurting. Another little secret. The voice of Bing Bong, who we'll meet very soon, is played by Richard Kind, but the original scream cry he did when they recorded the memory dump scene was so heartbreaking that half the sound team started crying in the booth. Joy decides they need a plan. She pulls out the core memories one by one, cradling them like baby birds. Each one is now completely blue, glowing with a soft underwater light. Family Island flickers far above, its warm yellow windows going dark one by one. Joy swallows hard. We have to get these back to headquarters before the islands collapse. Sadness looks down at her feet. But I make everything sad. Joy kneels again, cups Sadness's round blue face in her golden hands. That's not true. You're just different. And maybe different is what we need right now. It's the kindest thing anyone has ever said to Sadness. A single tear rolls down her cheek and lands on the ground with a sound like the tiniest bell. They start the long walk toward Friendship Island, hoping to catch the train of thought before it stops running. Along the way, they pass memory workers vacuuming up faded orbs. Soft whooshing sounds like distant ocean waves. One worker, a cheerful forgetter named Paula, waves. "Hey, Joy, long time no see." Joy forces a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Sadness hides behind her. Suddenly the ground rumbles. Far away, Goofball Island lets out a gigantic groan and collapses completely, folding in on itself like a deflating bounce house. A huge cloud of rainbow confetti explodes outward, then rains down slowly, silently, covering everything in faded color. Joy watches it fall with her mouth open. Somewhere in the real world, Riley sits on her new bed and doesn't laugh when Dad tries to cheer her up with the monkey dance. The silence in the house is thicker than fog. Have you ever felt a part of yourself collapse like that? Quietly, while the world kept moving. Maybe the day you realized you'd outgrown a favorite song, or when a friendship just stopped calling? Let the confetti land on your shoulders now, light as feathers. It's okay to feel heavy. The rain will hold you. Joy grabs Sadness's hand, soft and cool like a river stone, and they start running. Their footsteps make no sound, only the gentle rustle of fabric and the quiet huff of breath. The shelves blur past in streaks of gold and indigo. Ahead, Friendship Island flickers uncertainly, pink and green lights stuttering like a dying neon sign. Joy's glow is almost gone now, just a faint candle compared to the sun she used to be. But she keeps running, pulling Sadness along, because giving up is not an option when someone you love is hurting. And far above, in headquarters, anger has taken over the console completely. His idea of helping is to make Riley yell at her parents about the stupid house, and the stupid pizza, and the stupid everything. The memory orbs rolling in are bright, furious red. Fear keeps trying to grab the controls and accidentally makes Riley run to her room and slam the door so hard the walls shake. Disgust is painting her nails and pretending none of this is happening. Outside, Riley throws herself face down on the bed, fists clenched in the sleeping bag. Tears burning behind her eyes but refusing to fall. Joy stops running for a moment, chest heaving with unnecessary breaths. She looks at Sadness, really looks at her for the first time. "I've been awful to you," she whispers. "I kept pushing you away because I was scared. Scared that if I let you feel things, Riley would never be happy again." Sadness blinks slowly, tears balanced on her lower lashes like dewdrops. "But Riley needs to feel things," she says, voice barely audible. "Even the sad ones. Especially the sad ones." Joy's eyes fill with golden tears that glow like tiny stars. She pulls Sadness into the softest hug you have ever felt. Warm sunlight against cool ocean. For the first time, their colors blend where they touch, yellow bleeding gently into blue, creating a soft new green at the edges. Somewhere inside you, feel that same blending, joy and sadness learning to hold hands instead of fighting. They keep walking, slower now, toward the glowing pink bridge that leads to Friendship Island. The bridge is already cracking, pieces falling away into the darkness below. Joy takes one careful step, then another. Sadness follows, leaving tiny blue footprints that steam gently in the warm air. Halfway across, the bridge gives a terrible lurch. Joy screams and grabs Sadness just as a huge chunk falls away beneath their feet. They dangle over nothingness, fingers locked, hearts pounding in perfect unison. And that's when they hear the very first notes of a cheerful little tune, played on an imaginary trumpet made of clouds and cotton candy. A strange creature comes bouncing around the corner on a wagon pulled by a dolphin wearing rocket shoes. Pink, fluffy, part cat, part elephant, part dolphin, wearing a tiny bowler hat and carrying a little satchel full of songs nobody else remembers. "Bing Bong!" he cries joyfully, opening his arms wide. "Riley's old imaginary friend at your service." The rain outside your window softens to the gentlest mist, as if the world itself is leaning in to listen. Bing Bong smells like melted strawberry ice cream left in the sun too long, and the faint sweetness of forgotten crayons. His fur is cotton candy pink, the exact shade of the sky the moment before sunset gives up and night takes over. When he hugs Joy, it feels like being wrapped in the softest cloud that has ever existed. Warm and slightly sticky in the very best way. Sadness stands a little behind, wringing her hands, but Bing Bong sees her immediately and opens one fluffy arm wider. "Come on, Sadness, group hug." She steps forward shyly and is swallowed up in pink fluff until only her little round glasses peek out. For the first time since they fell, Joy laughs, a small, surprised sound like wind chimes in a distant garden. Bing Bong's wagon is painted with faded rockets and stars, the wheels squeaking in a cheerful off-key song. His dolphin, Dolores, flaps her fins and makes a soft click-click-click like dolphin laughter. "Hop in!" Bing Bong sings, voice bright and slightly cracked, the way old music boxes sound when you open them after 20 years in an attic. Joy helps Sadness climb aboard, the wooden seat warm from imaginary sunshine. The moment they sit, the wagon lurches forward, bouncing gently over the spongy ground of long-term memory. Every bounce sends up tiny puffs of glitter that taste like the memory of birthday cake on your tongue, if you breathe in slowly. They ride toward Friendship Island, which is now tilting dangerously, pink and green lights blinking like a carnival ride about to be shut down forever. Bing Bong chatters the whole way, telling stories about the old days when he and Riley were 3 and 4 and 5. "We used to take my rocket to the moon every Tuesday," he says proudly, pointing at the battered cardboard and tinfoil rocket strapped to the back of the wagon. "Powered by song, of course. You just sing really loud and whoosh, off we go." Joy smiles, but it's a tired smile. Sadness watches the crumbling island with huge wet eyes. Halfway there, Bing Bong suddenly goes very quiet. He reaches into his little felt satchel and pulls out a single faded photograph. Riley, at age 4, cheeks smeared with chocolate, sitting on Bing Bong's fluffy back, both of them laughing so hard their eyes are almost shut. The edges of the photo are soft from being held too many times. "She hasn't taken the rocket in a long, long, long time," he whispers. His voice cracks like thin ice. Joy feels something tight in her chest. Sadness reaches out and gently touches the photo. Where her finger lands, a soft blue glow spreads. But this time, it doesn't feel like ruin. It feels like tenderness. Trivia. Soft as a feather against your cheek. Bing Bong's design was inspired by a real drawing one of Pete Docter's childhood friends made when they were kids, an elephant-cat-dolphin hybrid in crayon. They kept it for 30 years just so they could put it in this movie. Another whisper. When the animators first showed the finished Bing Bong to the story team, grown adults cried in the screening room because they all suddenly remembered their own forgotten imaginary friends. Have you ever found an old toy in a box and felt your heart squeeze so hard it hurt? Maybe a stuffed bear with one eye missing, or a doll whose hair you cut when you were 6. Let that memory rise gently, like a bubble in warm soda. Hold it in your hands for a moment. It's okay if your eyes feel a little misty. The rain is here to catch every drop. The wagon reaches the base of Friendship Island, just as another huge chunk breaks off and tumbles into the darkness below. The sound is enormous, like a mountain sighing as it dies. Pink, heart-shaped balloons that once floated above the island drift down slowly, deflated, brushing against Joy's hair like sad kisses. Bing Bong leaps out and starts running up the crumbling path, calling over his shoulder, "Shortcut! Through Imagination Land!" Joy and sadness follow, clutching the 5 blue core memories tight. Imagination Land is quieter than it used to be. The French fry forest has gone limp, fries drooping like tired flowers. The house of cards is half collapsed, playing cards fluttering everywhere like wounded butterflies. Trophy Town still glitters, but many of the trophies are cracked, gold paint peeling. Bing Bong leads them past the lava cage, where Riley used to pretend the floor was lava. He jumps across imaginary flames with perfect seriousness. They pass Cloud Town, where everything is made of fluffy white clouds, but several clouds have dark gray storm centers now, rumbling softly. Sadness reaches out and touches one. It starts to rain tiny, gentle tears that smell like petrichor and childhood bedrooms. Bing Bong stops in front of a giant preschool crayon drawing tape to the sky. A bright red rocket with Riley plus Bing Bong written in uneven letters. "This is it," he says proudly. "Our old rocket still works." Joy looks doubtful. The rocket is cardboard, held together with tape and hope. One fin is completely missing, but Bing Bong is already climbing in, motioning for them to follow. We'll sing our way to the moon, then take the moon shortcut straight to headquarters. Easy peasy. They squeeze inside. It smells like dried glue and magic markers. Bing Bong hands Joy and Sadness each a corner of an old song sheet. The paper is soft as cloth from being folded and unfolded 1,000 times. On 3, he says, eyes shining. 1, 2, 3. And they sing. The Rocket Song. The one Riley made up when she was 4. Their voices are small and off-key and perfect. Who's your friend who likes to play? Bing Bong, Bing Bong. The cardboard starts to glow. The wagon wheels spin. The dolphin flaps harder. And suddenly, impossibly, the rocket lifts off the ground, trailing sparkles and the faint scent of birthday candles. They soar upward through imagination land, past the sleeping dragon made of homework, past the boyfriend generator, disgust's old favorite, now covered in dust, past the enormous face pillow Riley used to kiss goodnight. Joy laughs in pure wonder. Sadness smiles so wide her cheeks hurt. Bing Bong steers with his trunk, trumpeting along with the song. For one shining moment, everything feels possible again. But then the rocket runs out of song. They crash land hard in the dark, twisting tunnels of abstract thought. The world around them starts to melt and shift, like paint running in water. Joy screams as her body turns into colorful geometric shapes, then into a single glowing line, then into pure feeling with no form at all. Sadness becomes a pile of soft blue cubes that slowly slide apart. Bing Bong panics and turns into a collection of random symbols, a question mark, a heart, a broken music note. The air tastes like static electricity and confusion. They have to crawl on what might be hands or might be thoughts, piecing themselves back together one fragment at a time. Joy's voice echoes from everywhere and nowhere. Stay together! Don't let go! When they finally reform, panting and trembling, they are deeper in the mind than they have ever been. The walls here are cold and gray, pulsing slowly like a sleeping brain. Subconscious. The air smells metallic, like pennies and fear. Giant stone guardians shaped like broccoli loom in the shadows. Riley's worst nightmare. Somewhere far away, a vacuum cleaner roars like a monster. Bing Bong shivers. We shouldn't be here, he whispers. They creep forward on tiptoe. Joy clutches the core memories so tightly her fingers leave little glowing dents. Sadness stays close, her cool hand brushing Joy's arm every few steps, grounding her. They pass Jangles the clown, Riley's other deepest fear, locked behind bars, his giant red nose honking softly in his sleep. The sound makes your skin crawl in the gentlest possible way. Let it crawl. Let the rain wash it away. At last they find a tiny door marked, Back of Mind. Bing Bong pushes it open with his trunk. Moonlight spills in, cool and silver. Beyond lies the train of thought, chugging slowly along its glowing track high above the memory dump. Last train of the night, Bing Bong whispers excitedly. If we miss it, we're stuck until morning. They run. The train is beautiful, made of soft golden light, wheels humming a lullaby rhythm. Joy leaps aboard first, then turns to help Sadness. But just as Sadness reaches the platform, another huge section of Friendship Island collapses. The shockwave knocks her backward. She falls, arms windmilling toward the darkness below. Joy screams and dives after her, catching Sadness's hand at the very last second. They dangle over the abyss together, fingers locked, the 5 core memories tumbling from Joy's arms and rolling across the train floor. Bing Bong grabs Joy's feet just in time. With a mighty heave, he pulls them both aboard. The train doors slide shut with a gentle sigh. They collapse in a heap, breathing hard. Joy's glow is almost gone now, just a faint ember. Sadness is crying quietly, blue tears dripping onto the wooden floor and making tiny puddles that reflect starlight. Bing Bong hugs them both so tightly the wagon creaks. "We made it," he whispers. "We're going home." Outside the windows, the memory dump yawns below, a vast dark canyon where faded memories go to dissolve into nothing. Gray dust swirls like slow-motion snow. The train rocks gently, side to side, like a cradle. Joy closes her eyes and rests her head against Sadness's soft shoulder. For the first time, she doesn't try to fix anything. She just lets herself feel tired and scared and grateful all at once. Let yourself feel that too, sweet dreamer. Let the gentle rocking of the train rock you now. Let the soft click-clack of wheels on light become the rhythm of your own breath. In, out, in, out. Good. The train of thought glides forward so gently it feels like floating inside a lullaby. The windows are made of soft golden glass, and through them you can see the sleeping mind of an 11-year-old girl stretching out in every direction. Quiet rivers of memory, distant islands flickering like tired fireflies, and far below the great dark pit of the memory dump where everything forgotten eventually dissolves into gray dust that smells faintly of old chalkboards and the last day of summer vacation. Inside the carriage, the air is warm and smells like cinnamon toast in the inside of a favorite hoodie. The seats are plush and slightly worn, the color of oatmeal left too long in the bowl. Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong sit close together, knees touching. Joy's glow is only a candle flame now, flickering every time the train rounds a slow curve. Sadness leans her round blue head against Joy's shoulder, and for once Joy does not pull away. Bing Bong hums the rocket song under his breath, very softly, the way you hum when you're trying not to wake someone you love. The tune is simple and a little cracked, like a music box that has been dropped once or twice but still remembers how to play. Every few notes he stops, listens to the quiet, then starts again. The 5 core memories lie in Joy's lap, completely blue now, glowing with the gentle underwater light of deep sadness. Joy traces one finger over the surface of the family island memory. Riley laughing between Mom and Dad on the frozen pond. Breath fogging the air. Skates carving perfect figure eights. The blue is so deep it almost looks black in places. Joy's voice is barely a breath. I thought if I kept them yellow, everything would stay perfect. Sadness answers without lifting her head, words muffled against Joy's yellow sleeve. Perfect isn't real. Real is messy. The train rocks them gently, side to side, like a mother who never quite stopped swaying long after the baby fell asleep. Far away, in headquarters, things have grown very dark. The lights are dim and red, pulsing like a warning. Anger stands at the console with both fists down, head on fire, roaring at Mom through Riley's mouth. "You want me to be happy? Move us back to Minnesota." The words come out sharp and hot, tasting like burnt metal on Riley's tongue. Mom's face crumples the way tissue paper does when it gets wet. Dad's mustache droops. The memory orb that rolls in is bright, furious red. Then another and another. Fear keeps yanking the controls away, making Riley's legs twitch like she wants to run but doesn't know where. Disgust has painted her nails 3 times and is now filing them into perfect points, pretending she isn't scared. The console sparks and smokes. Outside, Riley slams her bedroom door so hard the new house seems to shiver. Back on the train, Joy finally falls asleep. Her head slips sideways onto Bing Bong's fluffy pink shoulder. Sadness watches her for a long time, eyes wide and wet behind her glasses. Then, very carefully, she reaches out and touches one of the blue core memories. This time, she doesn't just leave a smudge. She presses her whole palm against the orb and closes her eyes. The memory flickers. Inside it, tiny Riley on the ice suddenly stops laughing. Her lower lip wobbles. She looks up at Mom and Dad with huge, frightened eyes and whispers, "I miss home." A single tear rolls down her cold pink cheek. The orb stays blue, but something inside it softens, like ice beginning to melt in spring. Sadness pulls her hand back and smiles the smallest, bravest smile you have ever seen. Trivia whispered against the shell of your ear. The sound of the train of thought was created by layering real train recordings with the gentle clinking of wind chimes inside a cathedral. If you listen very closely later, you can hear a distant choir of children humming the rocket song underneath everything. Another secret. Amy Poehler and Phyllis Smith, Joy and Sadness, recorded many of their scenes lying on the floor of the booth so their voices would sound naturally sleepy and intimate, exactly like this moment right now. Have you ever realized, years later, that a memory you thought was pure sunshine actually had quiet shadows all along? Maybe the family picnic where everyone smiled for the photo, but you remember the exact second your little cousin started crying and no one noticed except you. Let that memory surface now, soft as moth wings. It's safe to look at it. The train will carry it gently. The train slows. Through the window, Hockey Island flickers violently, then collapses, with a sound like 1,000 ice cubes dropped into warm water. Shards of frozen pond rain down into the dump, glittering for a moment before turning gray. Joy wakes with a start. "No. No," she whispers, pressing her face to the glass. Sadness places a cool blue hand on her back. Bing Bong's eyes fill with cotton candy tears. Outside, in the real world, Riley has just quit the hockey team. She throws her stick into the corner of the garage where it clatters like breaking bones. The memory orb is dull gray, almost black. Then the worst thing yet. Honesty Island rumbles and folds in on itself. The ground beneath the train shakes. The lights inside the carriage flicker. Joy stands up, clutching the core memories so tightly her fingers leave permanent glowing prints. "We're running out of time," she says. Voice cracking like thin ice, Bing Bong wipes his eyes with his trunk. "There's still one way," he says quietly. "The moon. We can still take the rocket from the moon." But even as he says it, the train screeches to a sudden, violent halt. The conductor's voice echoes through the carriage, calm and terrible. Train service suspended until further notice. All passengers must disembark. The doors slide open onto empty air high above the memory dump. They stand on the narrow platform, wind tugging gently at their clothes. Below them, the dump yawns black and endless. swirling with slow gray snow. Joy looks at Sadness, then at Bing Bong, then at the 5 blue memories glowing softly in her arms. "We'll walk," she says, trying to sound brave. "We'll walk the rest of the way." But the track ahead has crumbled into nothing. There is no path. Bing Bong takes a long, slow breath that smells like the last piece of birthday cake nobody wanted. He looks at Joy, then at Sadness, then at the rocket still strapped to the back of his wagon far below. His eyes are ancient and gentle and impossibly sad. "I know what we have to do," he whispers. He leads them down a forgotten maintenance ladder. Rung by rung, the metal cool and slightly damp under your own hands if you imagine it. At the bottom they find the old wagon and the cardboard rocket, half buried in gray dust. Bing Bong climbs in first, then helps Joy and Sadness. The inside smells exactly like it did when Riley was 4. Crayons, grape juice, and the faint sweetness of believing anything is possible. Bing Bong hands them the song sheet again, but his trunk is trembling. "We only have enough song power for 2 trips, he says quietly. "One to get us up, and one to get you 2 the rest of the way." Joy understands immediately. Her golden eyes fill with tears that glow like tiny falling stars. Bing Bong no. Sadness starts crying so hard her whole body shakes, soft blue waves rippling across her skin. Bing Bong cups Joy's face with one fluffy paw, then Sadness's. "Take her home," he tells Joy. "Riley needs you. Both of you." Then he starts singing the rocket song by himself, voice cracking on every note. "Who's your friend who likes to play?" The cardboard begins to glow. Joy tries to pull him out, but he gently pushes her back. "It's okay," he whispers, smiling through cotton candy tears. "My job was to make Riley happy when she was little. Your job is to keep her happy now that she's big. Go!" The rocket lifts. Joy and Sadness cling to each other as the wagon falls away beneath them. Bing Bong keeps singing, louder and louder, running alongside on the ground, jumping higher than should be possible. On the 3rd jump, the song runs out. The rocket lurches upward one last time. Bing Bong looks up at them, waves once with his little trunk, and smiles the purest smile you have ever seen. Then he fades into gray dust, still singing the last note, soft as a sigh. The rocket carries Joy and Sadness up through the darkness, past the crumbling islands, past the sleeping subconscious, all the way to the back window of headquarters. They crash through the glass in a shower of golden sparks and land in a heap on the floor, covered in dust and tears. The 5 blue core memories roll across the pink floor and come to rest at the console's edge. Outside, Riley is standing at the bus station, backpack slung over one shoulder, ticket to Minnesota clutched in her shaking hand. Her face is blank, eyes hollow. Inside headquarters, fear and disgust and anger stare at Joy and Sadness in total silence. The console is dark, smoking, dead. Joy stands up slowly. Her glow is almost gone, just a faint ember in her chest. She looks at Sadness, really looks at her, and something shifts behind her eyes like sunrise after the longest night. She picks up the family core memory, now completely blue, and hands it to Sadness. "You do it," she whispers. "You put it back." Sadness hesitates, trembling. Joy takes her hand and guides it to the slot. Together they slide the memory home. The console lights up, soft, gentle blue, Riley stops walking. The bus doors close without her. She turns around, eyes suddenly full of tears that have been waiting for days. She runs. All the way home. Through the crooked streets, past the foghorns, up the narrow stairs. She throws herself into Mom and Dad's arms and sobs. I miss Minnesota. I miss my friends. I miss hockey. I'm scared and I'm sad and I don't want to pretend anymore. And for the first time in weeks, Riley cries. Real, messy, healing tears that taste like salt and relief. Let those tears fall inside you now, sweet dreamer. Let them be soft. Let them be safe. The rain outside has slowed to the gentlest drizzle, washing the whole world clean. The headquarters lights come back slowly, the way dawn creeps across a bedroom floor when you've slept past your alarm and everything feels forgiven. First, a soft blue glow spreads across the curved pink walls, cool and soothing like moonlight on fresh snow. Then gentle amber threads weave through it, then hints of rose and lavender and the faintest trace of gold. The 5 emotions stand in a quiet circle around the console, breathing together for the first time since everything fell apart. Joy's glow is still dim, but it is steady now, a candle that has learned it does not need to be the sun. Sadness stands right beside her, no longer at the edge, her little blue hand resting lightly on the controls. Fear's tie has stopped trembling. Anger's flames have settled into a warm hearth-fire red. Even disgust has lowered her perfectly arched eyebrows and is smiling the tiniest, softest smile you have ever seen. Outside, in the real world, Riley is curled between Mom and Dad on the living room couch that still smells faintly of new paint and cardboard boxes. Mom's sweater is soft against Riley's cheek, the texture of well-worn cotton and faint vanilla from her shampoo. Dad's arm is heavy and safe across her shoulders. The tears have slowed to quiet hiccups. Mom strokes Riley's hair, slow, 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 the way you stroke a frightened animal, until it remembers it is loved. Dad kisses the top of Riley's head, his mustache tickling her scalp. We miss Minnesota too, kiddo, he whispers. We're scared too, but we've got each other. Riley nods against Mom's chest, feeling the steady thump of her heart, and something inside her chest unclenches for the first time since the moving truck pulled away. Back in headquarters, the core memory slot glows brighter. One by one, the remaining 4 blue orbs slide home. Family, friendship, hockey, goofball, honesty, each clicking into place with a gentle chime that sounds exactly like the first star appearing in an evening sky. The personality islands flicker, then begin to rebuild themselves, slowly, carefully, but differently now. Goofball Island rises again, smaller, quieter, with a single bouncy castle instead of a dozen, but it glows with a warm, steady light. Family Island grows wider, softer, with a new treehouse built for 3 instead of 1. Hockey Island reforms with a pond that is half frozen and half open water, ready for whatever season comes next. And in the center of everything, a brand new island begins to grow, tiny at first, then larger, a gentle hill covered in soft grass and wildflowers, lit by both sunlight and moonlight at the same time. No one has named it yet, but it feels like the place where joy and sadness sit together holding hands. Joy steps back and watches the console expand. New buttons, new levers, new screens appear overnight. Like puberty finally decided to be gentle instead of terrifying. The memory orbs rolling in now are no longer single colors. They are swirled, marbled, tie-dyed masterpieces. Gold shot through with blue, red warmed by amber, green threaded with violet. One orb shows Riley laughing with her parents, while tears still shine on her cheeks, the perfect blend of happy and sad. Joy picks it up reverently, cradling it like something sacred. "Look," she whispers to the others, voice hushed with wonder. "This is what memories are supposed to look like." Sadness smiles so wide her cheeks dimple. "They're beautiful," she says, and for the first time no one argues. A quiet little trivia before we drift all the way home. The very last memory orb we see in the film, the one that ends the movie, was animated by a woman who had just become a mother for the first time. She cried every single day she worked on it because it reminded her of holding her own daughter after a long, hard cry. Another whisper. Pete Docter has said that when his daughter Ellie, the real-life Riley, saw the finished film at age 15, she turned to him in the dark theater and said, "Dad, that's exactly how it felt." She hugged him so hard he couldn't breathe. Have you ever cried and laughed in the same breath? Maybe when someone you loved came home after too long away, or when a song found you at exactly the right moment. Let that memory rise now, gentle as morning mist. Hold it close. Let it warm the center of your chest. Months pass in the softest montage you have ever felt. Riley tries out for a new hockey team, the Fog City Flames, and scores a goal on her very first shift. The memory orb is bright orange threaded with gold and just a hint of nervous purple. She makes a new friend at school who loves dinosaurs and bad puns. The orb is lime green swirled with sky blue. She burns the broccoli pizza on purpose one night, and the whole family laughs until their sides hurt. The orb is warm brown with flecks of sunshine. And sometimes, late at night, she still sits on the roof with Mom and Dad watching fog drift past the Golden Gate Bridge, quiet and a little homesick, but not alone. Those orbs are deep indigo shot through with silver. One evening, Riley comes home from practice, cheeks pink from cold, hair damp under her helmet. She drops her bag in the hall and heads straight to her room. The walls are finally covered in posters again, some from Minnesota, some new. There's a framed photo on her desk. The whole family squished together on the couch the night everything fell apart and then came back together. Riley smiles at it every single day. Inside headquarters, the 5 emotions stand at the new, bigger console. It has room for all of them now, no one pushed to the back. Joy still leads most days, but sometimes fear takes the wheel when Riley needs to study for a big test. Sometimes anger when someone is mean to her little cousin. Sometimes disgust when the cafeteria serves mystery meat. And sometimes, more and more often, sadness steps forward quietly and places her soft blue hands on the controls. When Riley sits alone in her room missing Meg, or when she watches old home videos and tears slip down her cheeks, sadness is the one who helps her feel it fully, deeply, safely. And every time, joy stands right beside her, one golden hand resting lightly on sadness's shoulder. The very last thing we see is Riley, 12 now, lacing up her skates for the first game of the season. The arena smells like ice and popcorn and possibility. Her new teammates slap her back, shouting her name. Mom and Dad wave from the stands, holding a sign that says, "We love our Riley," in big glittery letters. Riley grins, so wide it hurts, and pushes off onto the ice. The cold air kisses her face. Her skates sing against the frozen surface. Inside her mind, all 5 emotions lean forward together, hands on the console, eyes shining. Joy whispers, so softly only the others can hear, "This is even better than happy." And the lights in headquarters glow every color that has ever existed, all at once. Now, sweet dreamer, let the rink lights fade behind your eyelids. Let the sound of skates become the sound of rain again, gentle, steady, endless. Let Riley's smile settle behind your eyes like the warmest blanket. You have traveled all the way from Goofball Island to the quiet new hill where joy and sadness hold hands, and you never once had to open your eyes. You did beautifully. Feel your whole body heavy, warm, safe. Let your breath slow until it matches the rain, in, out, perfect. Every muscle from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head is loosening, melting, drifting. The story is over, but the feeling stays. The feeling that every emotion inside you has a place at the console. That sadness is not the enemy of joy. She is its oldest friend. That tomorrow, when you wake up, your own memories will be a little more marbled, a little more honest, a little more kind. One last quiet question before you fall all the way. Tonight, which emotion would you invite to sit closest to the controls? Whoever it is, let them. They've been waiting a long time to be heard. Shh. The rain is only a whisper now. The candle in the corner has burned low, soft amber light, painting gentle shadows on the walls. You are floating, weightless, wrapped in the softest pink and blue glow. When you wake tomorrow, the world will still be big and strange and sometimes hard, but you will carry Riley's console inside your chest. 5 friends who have learned to work together. 5 colors that make the brightest light of all. Good night, sweet one. Sleep deep. Dream in every color. The rain fades. The candle flickers once, and everything is quiet.